Hey, what's going on, Angela? This is
Hey,
Chris. How's it been going with you?
going well. I have no complaints.
All right. Well, since you have no complaints, it is time for the
Spice.
spice
Oh, silent life.
treatment. But that's what we're going to be talking about, the
Hello.
silent treatment.
Yes.
How's your day been thus far?
So far, good. I um I make it my goal to try to
Making my way downtown.
live a happy, fulfilled life. Yep.
Living just enough for the city life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. No, I can't complain
Living.
about nothing. What about
That's
you?
good.
And you? How
Not
was your
gonna
day?
do it. Not gonna do it. My day has been amazing. I had the best. Every day is just amazing. This is an amazing day.
You look great, and I love
Thank you.
this shirt you
Oh,
have on.
hey,
I
it's pretty
love this
festive, huh?
color. It goes with
Yeah,
your skin tone.
yeah.
Yep.
I want to be like this shirt when I grow up. I want to be bright.
You're funny.
Um, that's fine. But yeah, so we're talking about we're doing a lot of talking to each other. But
Yes.
believe it or not, there's sometimes when, for whatever reason, feelings, or get emotional best of people, and want to both decide to give not the salad that you eat, but the silent treatment.
Yes.
It may sound like we're saying salad. It may sound like I'm saying salad
And
because I'm from the side.
is that a form of emotional abuse? Do you feel an emotional abuse when you get the silent treatment, or do you feel that when you giving the silent treatment? We're gonna go over that today, everybody.
Yep. And we're, as usual, we like to do a little research, get a little information, discuss it. One of the sites we looked at is the medicalnewstoday.com. And there's a writer, Jay Leonard. He had it actually reviewed by a physicist, Dr. Alex Klein. And they specifically talked about that, is silent treatment a form of abuse.
Yeah.
And we're going to kind of go over that. The first thing he said right off the bat, a silent treatment is a refusal to communicate verbally with another person. People who use the silent treatment may even refuse to acknowledge the presence of another person, act like they're not even there. And sometimes it could be seen as a form of abuse, but the goal is to look at how so.
Yeah.
When that might be the case. Is it okay? I guess it's never really okay, but
Yeah.
it's every circumstance may be different. So I don't know, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, first of all? Like, how do you?
I
I don't mean to put you on the
actually,
spot because we're going to discuss. Maybe we might have our thoughts and feelings may change at the end of this.
I'm gonna say this, and I know I'm talking out the box because I am an out the box type of person. So when you talk about somebody giving me, and I'm from the South, guys, so somebody giving me the silent treatment, it depends on who it is. Sometimes it could be a blessing, and sometimes it could be abuse. Just depend on the person.
Mm.
That's my opinion. That's on me. That's for me. So I ain't trying to be mean or anything, but sometimes a silent treatment from certain people is I don't know. I said a blessing. It could be something like a relief or whatever, you know, depending on who it is.
And then what is the silent treatment? A silent treatment is when somebody trying to have a conversation, they decide not to speak and not talk. Me personally, I don't like doing that. I'm sure I've done it, but it's hard for me to just ignore people like that. It's just, to me, is rude. Even if my emotions get the best of me. But
Yeah.
people use the silent treatment for a number of reasons, and here's 3 key reasons why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's a lot of reasons, but these are 3 top. Avoidance. What does that mean? In some cases, people may stay silent in a conversation because they do not know what to say and they just want to avoid conflict, which I think is usually the main reason why we do it, in my
That's
opinion.
True.
Don't feel like doing it today. So
That's
I
true.
do a lot of avoidance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Communication. That means a person may use the silent treatment if they do not know how to express their feelings, but want their partner to know that they are upset.
Yeah, that's another one too.
And then here's the one I think that may be most people. I don't know if it's common, but it can be perceived punishment. If a person uses silence to punish someone or to exert control or power over them, this is a form of emotional abuse.
Now, that's when I think that the abuse come from. But when you talk about avoidance, those other two, the avoidance and the communication, it's hard for me to see that as abuse in my, just me. And some other people can, but when somebody's intentionally making it a punishment, they intentionally doing that. Yeah, that's
And then,
different.
but how would you know? Like let's say you and I may perceive a person being silent with us, and they're just trying to be funny, they're trying to be manipulative and punish, and that person may say, no, 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 I was just trying to avoid conflict. They tell you that. How do you know?
Well, it says exert control over them. You know when somebody's trying to control you, or when they're trying to use that
No.
silent as a form of control. Well,
If
I would
it's
say
towards
this:
me, I'm
if
gonna always
right,
feel
if
like it's
someone,
punishment. If I'm doing it, in my mind, it's
okay,
avoidance.
I'm gonna give you
That's the
I'm
facts.
gonna give you an example. Let's say this couple, and let's say the wife uses the silent treatment against the husband, but she knows that he doesn't like it, and if she does it, she gets her way. He gives in to what she said,
Right.
what she,
And which
what
is
she
most
wants.
of the case,
That
but
is
she's not going. But what she may not admit
that
to
is
that.
control. That's or because he said no, I'm not going to buy. You can't have this. I don't think you should buy that expensive dress. Silent treatment until okay, I'm going to be silent, or I'm not going to talk to you. Clearly he's trying to talk to her and she's not saying anything. And then he said, you know what? He gives in. I can't have her not, talking to me. I need her to talk to me, and he gives in.
If you look at the communication one and the punishment one, they're kind of close to meaning the same. Look, a person may use the silent treatment if they do not know how to express their feelings, but they want the partner to know that they're upset. So they're trying to communicate something through silence to somehow get some kind of register out of the partner. Well, punishment, if a person uses silence to punish someone to exert a control power over them, it's like still trying to get a register or something out of that. So to me, communication and punishment are almost not the exact same, but very close.
Okay.
Just my
It
looking at
is
it.
very close, but there is something to the you know the punishment thing, because some people do, but maybe
I assume when it's
we
towards
don't,
me, I assume it's somebody trying to be
because we
controlling.
don't do that. We don't do this to try to punish anyone. I think, and at some point you would want somebody to figure out what's up. You don't want to continue on in a disagreement. You want there to be peace, period. But some people do that as a form of punishment, as a form of abuse, to get back at someone. Now there are folks out there that would do that. So
Another thing people don't realize, I think sometimes people do it like you said for a
yeah,
form of a punishment, and like I said, if it's done towards you, most people are going to think the other person doing it to them for that reason to
yeah,
be
that's true.
manipulative. So
Perspective.
so if that's the case, that may not be a good feeling.
No.
But then later on, let's say the person was saying it because of the communication thing. Well, whatever they thought was going to happen probably didn't happen. They may say, "Oh man, that person um, didn't even understand why."
Mm-hmm.
Of course not. Silence. They don't. So I think some of it can get tricky. I think
Yeah.
the main reasons for both of us, especially when we're dealing with anybody, dealing with people or others, for me, I know is number one at the top.
Yeah.
That's And I don't even really say that I'm a person that even go around having the silent treatment, because it's just it doesn't always help in my opinion. But if it is going to help keep peace temporarily, that may be the best way to go, and
Yeah.
to avoid the emotions getting higher.
Yeah. That's true. All right.
All right. So how does it affects relationships?
Well, it brings out that using the silent treatment is not a productive way to deal with disagreement, because the research shows that a man and women use that treatment in relationships. However, clear, direct communication is essential for healthy relationship, and using the silent treatment that prevents people from resolving their conflicts in a helpful way. So when one partner wants to talk about a problem but the other one withdraws, it can cause negative emotions such as anger and distress. And they brought out about a 2012 study that people who regularly feel ignored report lower levels of self-esteem, belonging, and meaning in their lives. Because of this, that silent treatment can have an impact on their health of the relationship, even if the person who is silent is trying to avoid conflict. So a person with a partner who avoids conflict is more likely to continue a dispute because they have not had an opportunity to discuss their grievances. So, yes. Wow, what a big effects this will is in a relationship. But when it talks about when one person is silent towards the other one, and how the level of them, if it's a regular thing, and how they're being ignored, reports a lower level of self-esteem and belonging and meaning in their lives. That is huge.
What does that mean?
That just means that, if they feel like they're ignored, think about somebody's when you're giving the silent treatment, you're basically ignoring them. And imagine how that feels on the partner, on the other person. If someone's ignoring them all the time,
not good.
No, it's not. No,
but
it's
they
not.
don't know that.
But think about the self-esteem.
Unless they're malicious and mean, they're not comprehending that.
Right.
Their emotions are getting the best of them, and they made that decision.
That's true. But because you talk about perspective, and if someone tells you that, or if you notice a change in behavior, you should take that into consideration, because someone feeling ignored and got low self-esteem, that is not good.
You should. In some cases, some people that's able to get control of their faculties do, and then they'll start coming back to normal and having a conversation. I agree. But until the emotions settle down, it is what it is.
But like you said, if a person's not comprehending that, and if you look at how this caused the other person feel, that is a form of abuse.
I absolutely agree.
That is abuse.
When somebody gives me the silent treatment, I take it as they're being manipulating, and it is a form of abuse. I totally agree. Because that's different from avoidance. They can be saying, I don't want to. That's what they still talking. But a person that just, I agree. Form of abuse. I totally agree with you. Very abusive and mentally controlling. I absolutely 110% support that.
I'm
sorry.
I'm going to say this.
Uh-oh.
All right. So.
Must be something different.
All right. So when it gets to a point of someone, I mean, it could be anyone. It don't have to be my husband. It could be anybody. When somebody gets to saying hurtful things, and they're intentionally hurting or trying to hurt your feelings, then you're getting the silent treatment.
Because it comes back to, like you said, perspective. It comes back to perspective.
Yeah, perspective.
Because in a relationship, there's usually neither the husband or wife are really trying to intentionally do that. But they do have wild talk that can be hurtful. And they don't realize it till later, like, ooh.
Right, but I'm going to say this. To avoid further conflict, knowing how a person grew up and their background and how that makes you feel, especially if someone has low self-esteem, the best thing for them to do is to just be quiet. Yeah. Because if they continue to talk, then it gets worse and worse. The more that person talks, the other person talks, and they're continuing with their degrading communication in their opinion. They continue on making this person feel a certain way, then the best thing for this person to do is just be quiet. Yeah. Sometimes it is. And then just if it renders you to go back to the conversation and address it, to calm yourself down, then do it. it's just a lot going on in today's world
So
for people to continue on conversations that it's not going in the right direction. Sometimes that silent treatment, sometimes there is abuse coming from the other way, that the silent treatment from the other person would kind of calm things down. But of course, I know that the other person would be like, wait a minute, we need to talk, but hey, we need to talk later, because so this won't go in,
right.
too
So
further.
barring whatever Angela just said, any other form is abusive.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the question that asks: is it abusive? It says a person may be using silence in an abusive way. What are some of the bullet points that mention that this can be seen as abusive?
Says they intend to hurt another person with their silence.
Okay. What about number 2?
The silence lasts for extended periods of time.
Okay.
And also, the silence only ends when they decide it does.
So far, I agree with all these. This is some manipulation going on here.
Yep. And also, they talk to other people, but not to their partner.
That is the epitome of evil, in my humble opinion.
Yes.
That's a demonic thing if you're married to a person that does that.
Right. They seek alliances from others.
Very evil.
They use silence to blame their partner and make them feel guilty. Also, last but not least, they use silence to manipulate or improve their partner, or to pressure them to change their behavior.
So those, I agree with every last one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Nope.
Oh. Oh, wow. Let's talk about other ones too.
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
This is crazy.
We need to
this
discuss
is controlling. Like some of this here, like, okay, the first one it mentions here.
Wait. It says other types of abuse.
Yeah,
in addition to the silent treatment, a person might use these types of emotional abuse to control their partner, such as.
So these are some more of the bullet points. So monitoring their activities. That's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
That is the epitome of a super duper insecure person. And now they're trying to spread it upon their partner. If their partner already know that, okay, something wrong with this person.
Yeah.
Unless there was some big mega, like realistic things that's going on, but that's when you have a conversation. You don't come out of anyway. So that's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
People let their own. We talked about that, the overthinking and the assumption thing and all those things. That's when people let their own brain get the best of them, and they can find themselves doing this crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Demanding access to the phone. This is a lot of young people stuff too. Like, I'm not saying older people don't do it, and if they do that, they shouldn't even be together. Deciding what they wear, eat, or drink. Now listen, I don't mind Angela buying me some stuff, but she don't really decide what I wear. Like, if she bought me some nice stuff, or I think, because like this shirt, I think I went in.
If it's inappropriate, I would say something.
Yeah.
But other than that.
Yeah, and there's some stuff she may see that she likes. Oh man, that look good on Chris.
Yeah.
So I've mentioned before, her fashion sense is better than mine. So,
he has good.
I'm okay with
he
support.
Has great fashion.
That's different from somebody like, no, you're gonna wear this, you're gonna eat this, and you're gonna drink that.
We're gonna wear blue today.
And then saying you can't speak to your family or friends.
No, I don't like blue. We're wearing blue today.
So that is control. It says also they isolate them from their family and friends, control what their finances and their spending, control whether or not they go to work or school, humiliating them in front of others and on social media, using intimidating behavior, threatening them or giving them ultimatums, control and manipulation, insecurity. All these are that sounds of that. Threatening to harm themselves, pets, or loved ones.
Ooh.
What is gaslighting them?
Gaslighting.
We don't have to have a topic about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a topic.
Yeah.
In fact, let's define gaslighting that way.
Well, we'll talk about it too in the topic, I guess.
Yeah.
I just lighten them up, I guess.
Well, yeah, gaslighting is really a form of humiliating someone, or hold on, the definition.
Another one after gaslighting is withholding affection, such as sexual activities, and then guilt tripping them.
Yes. So gaslighting, Christopher, is a specific type of manipulation where the manipulator is trying to get someone else or a group of people to question their own reality,
That's crazy.
memory, or perception.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at some point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so from just looking at the information, it's very rare. Most cases, it is a form of manipulation and abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is it saying? How to respond?
Yeah. So how to respond? How a
I'll tell
person
you how I respond, but go ahead.
how a person responds to silent treatment depends on whether or not their partner is being abusive. It says if the silent treatment does not appear to be part of a larger pattern of abuse, a person can try the following approaches.
It says name the situation, acknowledge that someone is using the silent treatment. For example, a person can say, I notice that you are not responding to me. This lays the foundation for two people to engage with each other more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Use the I statement.
And when you use the I statement, a person can let the other person know that they feel how they feel by using I statements. For example, that person on the receiving end may say, I'm feeling hurt and frustrated that you aren't speaking to me. I would like to find a way to resolve this.
Now, manipulating and controlling and insecure in a person that's letting their emotions get the best of them and all those things, but don't care about that. Don't care that something is frustrating to them. So you saying that, they may even be double down and be more silent. Like, good, I got her or I got him.
Yeah, they continue on that silence.
So that
Yeah,
that's another red
that's
flag.
true. That's true. That is so true.
Just to show their control.
Yeah, the abuse, emotional abuse. It say what it says about acknowledge the other person's feelings.
Yeah, it says ask the other person to share their
Yep.
feelings. Um, Validate them, make sure because really if you have good intention, if both people have good intentions, these things will work. You'll say, okay, let's because we're working for a point of peace now. You're working for a resolution, or you've caught hopefully everybody's caught a hold of their feelings and emotions, and now you're working towards a peaceful resolution because you don't want to stay in this negative bad place. Most normal people don't.
It's true. And when you're talking about in a relationship with with your spouse and there's a silent treatment going on, you got that on. It's really not it's loud in your brains because it's to me, I feel that the quicker it's resolved, the better things are,
I feel that way.
And yeah, so when it gets to a point where you're silent, now I understand you're silent until things, calm down and then you discuss it later. But just being silent for nothing and it's being used as a manipulation tool, that's not good.
And then depending on the people or the person, that stuff backfire.
Exactly.
Because person may be like, I don't, I know me and you are not like this.
You're right.
But I do know some people that are like to be controlling and be silent and do that, but probably don't realize that by doing that, that's going to distance the person from them, and then they wonder why the person not around. Secondly, they're going to think the person don't want to be around them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then they feel like they've been done wrong.
Yeah.
But they forgot that they were silent towards the person, and the person is not going to just stand there in that area when when the vibe is not good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's so true.
So if both people want peace, then it's talking about words and actions.
Mm-hmm. Talking about apologizing. That's so important. A person should not apologize or blame themselves for another person's use of a silent treatment as the silence is how their partner chooses to respond. But you need to apologize if they have said or done something that they may have hurt the other person's feelings. So I think that's something that we're, as a couple, we don't hold back the apologies.
No,
but accepting the apologies is very important. Apologizing is not something that's easy. So when you're
Most
saying
difficult
you
thing
ain't
for
got to
me.
apologize or don't apologize to me or you don't mean it, don't do that,
Right.
because that'll prevent a person or they'll second guess whether they, okay, should I apologize, or they, it hurts me when they say that I, that they're not going to accept my apology.
Also, when you apologize in a person, instead of saying, you know what, I'm glad you said I really accept your apology. Some people have a tendency to double down and reiterate and rehash everything they did that they didn't like that you did after you apologized, which was very difficult to do. Now you're going to make feel even worse after you can sit there apologize. Then they go and give you a brief synopsis of what you did, which can make you more upset and almost like, well, why did I apologize? But sometimes you got to push through it and let
Oh
them say
yeah.
what they have to say. And the next bullet point actually is, if they say something wacky after you apologize, try to avoid, keep control of yourself,
Yeah.
and avoid saying something that won't be helpful to
Right.
that conversation, even if they're saying something silly. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then if it's some big thing where it's abuse and fighting and all that hand stuff, you might want to get out of there and get some counsel, get some help, get
Yeah,
medical help, because we're not
definitely.
doctors.
Definitely need some
And,
help
and,
then.
and, and you want to get a hotline. They got
Red alert,
hotlines,
red flags.
911.
Yes.
Do what you got to do. Um, but overall, the silent treatment is not the smartest thing to do. But
Right.
sometimes, if both parties are very mature, they may want to give themselves time to calm down and not be so emotional, and because they love
Yeah.
each other and they want to, but not to do it in a mean, hateful way or angry way.
See, and that's the thing when you talk about when you really, the next time you're thinking about giving anyone a silent treatment, think about how that other person's going to feel. That's a form of abuse if you think about it. Emotional abuse. And sometimes they say emotional abuse can hurt worse than a physical abuse. Some people would rather you slap them or hit them than emotionally abuse them, because some people just can't take it. But abuse, period, is wrong, whether it's emotional or physical. So when you're working together and try to resolve these conflicts, it is so important how to bring the peace back, to open up the forms of communications to allow the person to express themselves and to avoid hurtful talk or hurtful speech. If it comes to that and there needs to be space, you need to give it just a little time. I really, really advise it not go into the next day. Just give it a few minutes or hour or whatever it takes you to calm down, but come back with a goal to resolve it in a healthy way and helpful way.
Yeah. And I have some thoughts on that too, but I don't have time. But next time you'll get to hear these thoughts, because this is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
And you just got to finish listening to the
Spice.
Spice.
Oh. Oh. Life. Gotcha.
You got it.
Ah.